Welcome to sleepy, hazy, stormy August. Things are moving fast. Even NASA has come out and said that time is moving quicker. Suddenly we find ourselves on the doorsteps of fall. And Jupiter has been with us for a few days now. And already the expansion of certain things has us concerned. And thoughts of expansion in other arenas have us very much excited. So, whether you're single, married, in a situationship, there's something turned over here, or otherwise, and if you're just simply not looking for anything and just by yourself, all us Geminis suddenly, after the 5th, so tomorrow, start thinking very practically about relationships, marriage, children, commitment. And if you're thinking to yourself, I don't even have anybody in mind. Yeah, it doesn't matter. And I think the reason it doesn't matter points to a greater truth, and one that's perhaps a lot more interesting to talk about than whether or not someone's going to come into your life. And that is our ability to manifest by making up our minds. We're known to be very changeable. We're known to be temperamental even. We change our minds a lot. But what happens when a Gemini makes up their mind? What happens when they finally, much like a Libra, after much deliberation, settle on something? Well, from experience as a Gemini sun, I can tell you that once my mind is made up, things start to move. Now, I don't know what sign Elizabeth Taylor is, and the only thing relevant about this is that they told her that she couldn't be in National Velvet because she wasn't tall enough, and that nobody would buy it, for the story. She just was too small. And so for 3 months, she swung from doors, as she put it. She hung upside down. She ate steak for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And she grew 3 inches in 3 months. So is there an element of luck? Of course. Is the work of the hand of the divine on all things? Of course. Goes without saying. SubhanAllah. And is there also merit to be given to someone making up their mind and then letting the actions instinctually spring forward from that decision? That's where we're at. We just know, and we're settled about it. It's okay. We've decided. We've decided. We've tried out all different kinds of luck, and we've succeeded, alhamdulillah, at all of them, and now we would like to try a new kind of luck. Now we've decided that it's time to get into something. Interesting. Now, it's a journey. Just remember that. It's a journey, and it's a journey that's being initiated right now, with Mars being in Gemini with Jupiter. Now, one of the things that Mars does is it wants to sweep everything out of the way before this expansion begins and you really give into it. So it's about making way, It's about seeing the path, having the goal, seeing the path, and then Mars comes in and says, this path you have to walk down with your head up in the air and not really paying attention to what's going on around you. This is supposed to be you, in a way, boastful, almost gloating, dare I say, you know, in your success, or just being... It's the dream of every person who has a chip on their shoulder, right? To have this energy like, I did it, right? You need your path to be clear to be able to do this. So Mars and Gemini is coming in because this is I did it. This is Gemini looking around and being truly fed up, truly, and deciding, I want something different, I want something better. And then we do it, we make up our mind, we go get it, and then we do this. But Mars, quick, you know, fast thinking, foreshadowing Mars is like, wait, there are issues. There are rocks in this path, and we need to get rid of them. So if you find yourself picking fights or just being super honest as the Mercury retrograde in Virgo begins, just realize it's because Mars is making you aggressive with certain people because they shouldn't be in your life anymore. And even if you haven't figured that out, that's okay, because Mars has figured it out and seen your path and is like, again, it's the same energy. It's the same picture, right? It's the same energy. This is, again, giving us that same sense of the thing is in motion. It doesn't need to be micromanaged. We don't need to pay attention to every rock in the road. That's been taken care of already. So this is where we are aspiring to be, or have been aspiring to be for a minute now, since we figured out that we need to get it together. There was like a lull where we just kind of lost awareness, and now we're back and we're like, where have I been? I need to get it together. And this is what we've been aspiring to. So we're here. We've gotten it together. We're in the process of getting it together. We're in the midst, okay? And this is what we want. And it's so clear. And this is where we've positioned ourselves through prayer, through belief, through faith, through hard work, through smarts, through exercise, through just all the self-betterment that we've been doing, right? Mars is going to make it so that you are combative with certain people in your life. You know, the way that a Scorpio will just make up their mind that they want to be mad at somebody and they want to go for someone, and you could just tell that at some point in the night those two are going to get into it because the Scorpio is just not going to let it go. That's ancient ruler of Scorpio is Mars. That's the energy that we're on right now. It's like, you may even have people around you being like, why are you being hard on that person? Or like, just let that person live. Like, what's your issue? Or like, why all of a sudden do you want to leave this person right now? Or why right now has something they've been doing for so long all of a sudden become, unbearable to you? It's intolerable. It's because you're seeing so far past, or Mars is seeing for you so far past where you are right now. And the worry and the fear is that you will, drop back down into that place of, what is it? Where we just, hang up our conscious mind for a while and we don't see what's in front of us and we don't care and we don't use our minds. Things can happen. I mean, I know for me what happened is that my younger brother died. God rest his soul. Things can happen that just shut our brain off, and like I've pointed out before, some things are good, some things are bad, but they can all have the ability to overwhelm our very gentle spirit to the point of shutdown. In the last video, I asked you, what was the thing that robbed you of your magic? So now that you're started back up, do you know how to run this race perfectly? No, you haven't been in it for a second. So use Mars as the tool that it is. Of course, people are not going to be happy. Of course, there are people who are already, from the way that you've been, this high self-esteem has already been in effect. These are the products, the never-ending fruits of your labor, for the new low price of high self-esteem. This is so emblematic of the people in your life who have been capitalizing off of and basically just using you left and right because of that low self-esteem, because you were in some way codependent with them. And the fact that you're not anymore, and the fact that it hasn't been like this knockdown, drag out fight and a big deal, and we're not, like, people know we're verbose. People know that we want to with you and have this kind of verbal sparring. But the fact that we're like, oh, you don't even want to see him? Who? See who? Oh, it's like that? Yeah, it's like that. What's like that? I don't even know what it is that's like that. I don't even know who you're talking about. I don't even know what you're talking about. And the person, like, that's us. We are the sword of reason right now. And the people who are subjected to this sort of reason, there's a few reasons they're acting this way, okay? But if you want to get into it, we can. Every one of these people know what they did. There's no mystery. This person is not laying awake in bed being like, why did this happen to me? You know exactly why this happened to you. You are aware of all the reasons why Gemini don't fuck with you no more. Okay, this is Drake wondering why Kendrick did what he did. Meanwhile, every Gemini on earth knows exactly why Kendrick did what he did. Because there's only so long that we can be witness to just utter bullshit before we decide, like, okay, this is a gun, this is a bullet in my gun. If you ever mess with me, this is the first place that I'm going. A lot of people you didn't realize were messing with you. Jupiter has come in with Mars so merrily in its, wake, being like, oh, that's not okay. That's not okay. Geez, if I expand that, that's going to fuck you over. Oh, wow, that could turn into a case. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, and Mars is coming in right behind it, putting some steel in your spine and some fire in your words, and just letting loose on these people. You may yourself be really surprised at the level of annoyance, but also finality that you have with some people in your life right now that are genuinely confused because nothing happened. What's wrong? Okay. Now, another reason that this becomes such an issue now, where you're just holding your friends, your family, everyone to task, like, you want people to be moral, you want people to be better, you don't want to be a party to any bullshit, you don't want to be a party to any deception. It's also because Jupiter's making you think like an adult. And when you think about family and love and children and, sophistication and like a good life and what it means to raise like good kids and have a good life, it doesn't have anything to do with what these people have going on. Jupiter is encouraging you to think more of yourself, to think and want better for yourself, right? So in some cases, the people that are getting cut out, they feel like they're getting hit by strays because they really genuinely haven't done anything, but they don't fit with where your insides are at right now. Your mental is thinking about something that perhaps you never had, something that maybe until recently you didn't even know you were allowed to dream of having. Okay? Why should you go back from that? And then you look around and the people in your surroundings just are not in any way ever going to not only match up to this or want to get there with you or want to be there with you. They don't fit. And every one of those people, they feel your wrath like you're a Scorpio. You're just letting people have it. And, there's really nothing to be done about it because you're not wrong. And all those people know that they're not supposed to be around anyway. They really do know. They're well aware that they're not good enough. So it's doubly weird because there's going to be a lot of like, yeah. I knew that was coming kind of thing, and you're just like, okay. All right. So you have these different partnership paths, basically, that you're going to be taking with people. And with a lot of people, that partnership path ends. And that's okay. And that's not just romantic relationships, but for a lot of people, for a lot of Gemini, especially Gemini rising, you are full on in the midst of the realization that your romantic partners have really drastically changed the trajectory of your life. And you're not happy about it. Okay, so you're exploring these different partnership paths, right? Excuse me. Now, you're going to want to problem solve your way through this culling process, through this expansion, through this change of mind. You're going to want to hook everybody up who you have to leave behind. Fix everything up so there's nothing left to chance. Just because you feel better doesn't mean that you can problem solve your way out of this. You still have to completely go on your instincts. You have to be like you've always been. Don't take how the past few years have been as an indictment of your living by your instincts. You haven't been doing anything wrong. So don't change how you are. Just wake up to the fact that there are so many people who have effectively kept you small and kept your dreams small because that's the only way they get to stay in them. And now that they're not in them, the way these people are bugging out, like, and you just keep your, keep your chill, keep your commitment to your cool, keep your commitment to your chill, keep your commitment to your joy. Don't let them not getting to use you as the centerpiece of their life. Don't let their upset and rage about that define your month at all. Allow this to be a time of just insane glow up. You know what you want. You know where your mind is at. You're settling down in so many ways, and you want to settle down in the best of ways. That's where your head is at. And for that, you need peace of mind, financial stability, and some good, honorable, deep connections. Other than that, you don't really need much. Now, let's speak to the crosswatchers. I'm going to chew some ice and be back. Favorite. Okay. The top 5 favorite activity. Okay. Now. Crosswatchers. If you're a Gemini who's dealing with another Gemini, or if you're just dealing with a Gemini, you're married to them, you're in a situationship, you're friends with them and you like them, or you just really want this person, you have no idea how to go about it, what should you be doing in August? This is for you. Okay. Honestly, your chances are really good. If you're a decent person with a good head on your shoulders and knows something about life, like you're well educated, or this Libra energy is like, honey, some of us, if you're a Libra, your chances are looking great. If you're a Scorpio who's caused a lot of pain in the past, unfortunately, you're getting cut from the team. Anyway, if you fit with this highly sophisticated, the good life model that Gemini is creating with Jupiter right now, if you fit within that as a partner and you can aid and abet that lifestyle, you're good. But make that plain, make that clear. You want to come out this as open-heartedly as you can. If that's where you're at, if you genuinely want a thriving, fruitful, long-term connection with somebody who is ready for that, Gemini right now is the person for you. But if you don't have your life together, if you have no long-term intentions, if you are really good at acting and pretending like someone who does, but in fact is going to completely, fold. I would suggest you leave Geminis alone right now, just because they're in such a high spot and feeling so great. And what I know from personal experience is that, being a Gemini myself, but also having been married to one for 10 years, what I know is that when we're at that high is actually the time not to fuck with us at all, because that high can turn into rage really quickly. So if you have any ill intentions, or if your life plan is not naturally meshing with someone who's ready for, all the fun that comes with maturity, if you're not ready for that, then I think it's better to just stay away, because that rage, if it turns on, it's going to blame you for a lot of things that aren't your fault. And you will end up, because there is a pent up rage in Gemini right now that they don't want to address. And they'd rather just indulge in their glow up and really take in all the attention and all the love and all the eyes that are on them, instead of sort of installing a spigot somewhere to let this rage out. We're due for a crash out, to be honest. So you don't want that to be you. Don't let it be you. Don't let it be you. And I know people who like us think that they get some special privilege with us, and it's like, oh, but it would never be me, but they would never treat me that way. No, we wouldn't, until, we would. So that's why I'm saying it. Okay? Okay? Good. I love you. I love you. Now, Gemini, we have so much more to talk about. I know I always do this, but let's look at the cards. Let's do your preview. And let's talk a little bit more about just partnership. Okay? Because also, if you're not around someone right now, just quickly before we look at the cards, if you're not around somebody right now, or you're dealing with somebody who isn't an inspiration to you in whatever you got going on, and doesn't want to do stuff with you, and doesn't really know anything about what you do, aren't you bored? I think you are. And I think they know you are. So either they should hop to it and get involved in your shit, or at least try to get involved in it. Fuck, watch some Naruto and try to see where I'm coming from. You know what I mean? The fuck? How do you know anything about me if you don't know who Sasuke is? How do you? How could you ever know the inner workings of me until you understand how in love with Kakashi I am? How could you know? Could you? No. I love you. Hi, Gemini. Welcome to your preview of the extended. Quick word here on what your intentions are and how they may come across. We're used to being misunderstood. We're used to having our intentions questioned. But this is a particularly sensitive time, because when you feel like you're doing the right thing and then people question your intentions, it gets under your skin. It's understandable. You wanting more for yourself, better for yourself, whether that looks like settling down and having a family, or focusing completely on yourself, or moving somewhere you've always wanted to move, whatever version of choosing yourself applies to you right now, unfortunately, although you are trying to bring calm and harmony and some order to your life, it may be perceived as the complete opposite. Your wanting to do better for yourself comes from a newfound awareness of how you have been shortchanging yourself, okay? Very personal. But the way that the people around you will interpret it is very personal to them. To them, it feels like a judgment on their level of care for you or loyalty to you, right? For them, you wanting more for yourself will, in their minds, directly translate to you choosing to cause chaos in their life. Now, this says a lot about the people that you've surrounded yourself with, because these are the same people who go out of their way time to time to denigrate you for being chaotic. But now, when it comes time for people to have to stand on their own feet because you would like to do the same, what you're going to realize is that you were never an agent for chaos in their life. In fact, you were holding them together, holding them down. And so that person is in quite a pickle, because on one hand, they know that you've been holding them down. But on the other hand, they have been telling you for as long as you can remember that you are the chaotic, unstable element, and they are the ones that can be relied upon. Well, now it's figuring that actually it was you who was having enormous weights put on your back. And you showed up every time. How uncharacteristic, according to them, but no, actually very much on brand for us. So while you're really just setting the stage for a healthy future and doing the things that you need to do and thinking differently, simultaneously you have people around you just all out pity party mode. Oh my God, I can't believe you're abandoning me. These are grown people who will say these things to you. And this doesn't just apply if you're like, I'm going to move out, or I don't want to be in this relationship, or I want to go get a new job, or I want to move to a new city. This applies to everyone around you. As soon as you flipped that switch in your head that said, I want better, it happens now and then, you just want better. Everyone's going to take it personal, basically. Because why would you want better? I'm right here. And that's where the tough combos are going to happen. I've already had them. Good luck with yours. Yeah, you're right here, but I want better. I deserve better. And that's it. And that's all. It's nothing personal. It's nothing personal whatsoever. It's just like when a director doesn't pick an actor for a film. It has nothing to do with whether or not that actor can act. It's just not what the director saw in their mind. That's it. You're out. Keep things as reasonable as possible right now. I think sometimes we forget when we're fed up just how good we can be with our words when we want to, just how effective we can be. That rage that I spoke to the crosswatchers about earlier, we will address that in the extended. I just don't want to talk about that in front of everybody. All right, that is your preview. And I'll see you in the extended right now. Those links are below.